You're wearing clothes right now, probably not thinking about it. But at some point in human history, nobody was. And then something changed. We started covering ourselves and never stopped. Here's what's surprising. It happened much more recently than you think. Genetic research now suggests humans started wearing clothes roughly 170,000 years ago, which sounds ancient. But modern humans had already existed for over 100,000 years by then. So what changed 170,000 years ago? You can't fossilize fabric. Ancient clothing almost never survives. The oldest surviving clothing fragments are roughly 30,000 years old, which might suggest clothing started around then. But it didn't. Scientists found a much cleverer way to date the origin of clothing. Lice. Human lice come in two types, head lice and body lice. Head lice live in hair, body lice live in clothing. Body lice are genetically descended from head lice. They evolved specifically to live in clothing. By analyzing when body lice diverged from head lice genetically, scientists can estimate when clothing appeared. The answer: approximately 170,000 years ago. Give or take. Different studies give different numbers, ranging from 83,000 to 170,000 years, but all pointing to the same general era, the Middle Stone Age in Africa, when African climate was changing significantly, when humans were adapting to new environments, and when something happened that made covering your skin suddenly useful. 170,000 years ago falls within a period of significant climate change in Africa. A cold period reduced the range of habitable land. Human populations were under pressure to move, including into cooler environments. In cooler environments, the same skin that worked perfectly in hot savanna conditions becomes a liability. Humans had lost most of their body hair around 1.7 million years ago, long before clothing. Why did we lose body hair? Because sweating is more efficient for cooling in hot, open savanna environments, but naked skin in cold or wet conditions is a serious survival problem. Clothing solved it. Wrap an animal skin around yourself, and you're effectively an animal with fur again. The first clothing wasn't fashion, it was emergency engineering. Animal skins, leaves, grass, whatever could trap body heat and block wind and rain. And once the behavior started, it spread and never reversed, because it worked too well to stop. What's interesting is what happened next. Clothing quickly became more than just warmth. Evidence from 130,000 years ago suggests shells and pigments being used for personal decoration. Clothing became identity, status, group membership, the same function it serves today. What started as emergency warmth became one of the most powerful social signals humans use. Clothing changed human evolution in ways we're still discovering. Once clothing provided external warmth, there was less evolutionary pressure to maintain body hair. Clothing enabled humans to migrate into environments that were previously too cold to survive in. Siberia, the Arctic. Eventually, the Americas were reached via a cold land bridge. Without clothing, humans couldn't have colonized most of the planet. The entire human global diaspora is partly a story of fabric and skins. And clothing accelerated the cognitive and social complexity of our species. Once clothing carries meaning, once it signals status, group, identity, more sophisticated thinking is required to navigate it. A tiny practical invention, made from animal skin in cold Africa 170,000 years ago. That enabled humans to cover the entire planet and think more complexly about who they are. You've been wearing clothes your entire life without thinking about it. But 170,000 years ago, someone picked up an animal skin and started a behavior that never stopped, and it changed everything about where humans went and who we became. If you want more of why we do the things we do, subscribe. Next week, why did ancient humans stop walking and start farming, and what it cost them